You good?
Yeah, congratulations on a flawless performance in there. When 30-24, I know you predicted 8-minute knockout, but when you hear 30-24 against Neil Magny, it's got to feel pretty good.
I fucking told you guys I'm so good. And I don't sit here like a dickhead saying it. I mean it. I know what I've trained with the best in the world. I know what I'm capable of. I know what I'm able to go in there and do to these people. My timing, my speed is just different, but it's my intelligence. It's my intelligence. Today I could have absolutely went there and got that finish, or I could have ended up getting fucking choked out because I was silly and I made a mistake. So what I did was I just took my time. I clinically just disposed of him in every single which way. Who's done that to Magny? Nobody. When was the last time you had a 30-27? 30-24, sorry, my fault.
Been a while.
Khabib Barboza, maybe? A long time ago. Well, I just did it tonight.
Well, obviously the leg kicks played a major factor in it. He could barely put any weight on it. So how early into the fight did you know that leg was coming?
I am with two. I put him on his ass twice in a row. The first two kicks of the fight. The first two shots exchanges, he went on his ass, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is going to be a long night for you. That guy's going home in a wheelchair. And I fucking said it. Tonight, he is being walked home by someone in a wheelchair, and he's going to go home, and he's going to sit and reflect on everything he's ever fucking done in life. Right? I whooped his ass tonight, and he better sit there and think, fuck, I might need to change my life.
I have to ask, between rounds, you obviously gave him the finger. You had some words for him after.
He said, get the fuck out of my face. He said, fuck you, bitch. Tell me what to do.
What did you tell him after the fight?
When I went to him at the very end, I said, hey, respect after battle. I respect any man that's willing to step into the octagon with me. You have to. You have to respect someone. Firstly, Neil took the fight on 7 days' notice. But also, I took the fight on 7 days' notice. There's not many people who do that. I went from two opposite ends of the spectrum. And I showed up and I made that happen. I made what I did tonight was so easy, so clinical, but it was so special. The energy that I was able to get from that Boston crowd, the energy that I soaked up, it was so much fun.
Well, to kind of go off of that, we saw the videos of the open workout you did yesterday. Like, not many people are holding open workouts in a pub 12 hours before their fight or so. So how would you describe this whole week for you in general?
So look, I'm very blessed that the way I carry myself, the way that I train, the way that I prepare for fights, the way that I cut weight, the way that I do absolutely everything is elite of the elite. There is no one that does it better than me, and you can argue that all day, but the truth of the matter is I'm able to hold open workouts in front of thousands of fans in a pub in Boston. I was this close to pushing the boundaries. My wife was with me, and she said, if you step foot outside on that street and hit pads, you're going to get put in prison tonight because there's a riot law. I was like, fuck it, that'd be a great story. That'd be a great story if the boys are like, he has a fight tonight, we need to pull him out, we need to bail him out. I was like, that would be genius. But I also have a visa that I need to keep, so I need to be super smart, right? But it's just so much fun. Israel Adesanya said recently on his 292 preview, he said, I don't know how to explain it, I don't know what it is, but he's got that Goku energy. Or he's got that Goku spirit. And I wanted to look up exactly what it meant to all the anime fans. And it said that Goku spirit means that he channels energy from all living things and puts it back out there in the world. And I just did it. I channeled all that energy from the pub last night. I channeled all that energy from that walkout tonight. And I just gave back to the people. I just put on a performance that people remember for the rest of their lives.
And obviously you called out Wonder Boy for later on in the year. So how confident are you? Like, he said your name when he was on the MMA Hour. He goes, I have no problem fighting the Ian Garys of the world. So how confident do you think that you'll get that fight?
I love Wonder Boy. I love him. He's an amazing person. He's an amazing human. And he's one of the best we've ever seen in the striking department, in UFC history, in the world. 57-0 in kickboxing. Every single time I watch him fight, I get pissed when I see someone shoot a double leg on him. I'm not going to do that. For sure, we might end up in grappling positions. If he gets too close or I get too close, it's an MMA fight at the end of the day. I'm not saying I'm going to just literally stand like this with him, but I want to prove to the world that I am the best striker in the division. I'm one of the best strikers of all time. And to do that, you have to go out and beat people of that caliber. And Wonder Boy is that guy. So for me to go out there and to beat Wonder Boy, to finish him, to get a decision win, whatever the win is, to have my hand raised against that man absolutely means that I am the new generation of strikers in the UFC, and it is unarguable that I am the best striker in the division.
And was beating Magny, did you feel sort of next?
Magny's a scumbag, and I'm glad I fucking went down and gave him a hiding. Because the shit he said at that press conference to you guys last week, I don't know how none of you picked up on that, by the way. The first second I heard it, I was like, what did he just say? I paused. I was like, sorry. I must have misunderstood that. I watched it again, and I was like, oh my goodness. You cannot say something like that and get away with it.
It seems that brought something out of you. So
Fucking right it did.
you
It's
almost
justice.
prefer that you have some bad blood now going into a fight?
Look, my baby sat over there in the corner over here, right? I know from my life, I was a pest as a kid. Look at me. I'm the exact type of person that's going to cause trouble. Do you know what I mean? I got a fucking whack at a wooden spoon. That doesn't mean I go and fucking do it to him. No, you break the cycle. And I see a lot of these comments being like, oh, this. If you want to be better and you want to change the world, don't do what you don't want to do to your. Break the fucking cycle. Be a better human. Be a better man. And let's change the fucking world. And don't ever, ever, ever touch a fucking kid.
Yeah.
That's my attitude. And I don't think there's anyone in this room that's going to fucking disagree with me. And if you do, come talk to me.
We'll start with Sean O'Malley. I mean, it's not just a win, but he looked impressive doing it, right? The distance control in the first round, and then to get Aljo frustrated to land that counter. There's been some talk of like, oh, he's had everything handed to him. But after a performance like that against one of the best champions in the division's history, this guy belongs at the top.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you know, Dana White privilege. You don't become number 2 in the world without earning it. So, and I don't pick that. You people do. So then he went in there and delivered tonight. Yeah. There is no such thing as Dana White privilege in this company. You know, they can do that type of shit in boxing. If you make it to the top here, you know what I mean? I'm not going to say that some people can't catch some breaks sometimes. People are hurt. You know, this and that happens. Certain matchups can't happen at one time. You got a situation where Merab won't fight the champion. I mean, there's lots of different things that can happen, but it has nothing to do with us. It's just the way that timing and everything else plays out. When you get to a title shot, you've earned it here.
What did you think of his performance?
Who?
Sean, tonight. How good did he look?
How do you even want me to answer that question? He knocked him out. In my head, when you think about the fight and you think about Sterling, you say to yourself, how does Sean beat this guy? How does Sean stop the takedown? You know, he's not going to be able to stop the take. Maybe he'll do it a couple times, but all night. Cejudo couldn't. But you never know, man. Styles make fights and things happen in fights that, you know, you sometimes don't expect. And he got caught and he got stopped.
There's a lot of talk about this guy's potential as a star for the UFC. I mean, he does crazy numbers already. How much more does a championship add to that star power for Sean O'Malley?
We broke the all-time gate record here. Bruce Springsteen just played here and did 5 million. We did over 7 million. Okay, with the Boston Garden. We're the biggest thing other than the craziest fucking sports town on earth, other than their team that plays here. We're the biggest thing that's ever been here. So what does that tell you about O'Malley? This is O'Malley. This is also the biggest bantamweight championship fight ever on pay-per-view globally. It broke the record. Biggest bantamweight championship fight ever. I'm sure you saw the crowd at the end. O'Malley isn't going to be a star. He is a star.
We'll move on from him to Zhang Weili. Again, equally impressive, you know, domination throughout that fight. She's potentially already the GOAT in that division. What did you make of her performance this evening?
Yeah, no, I mean, like you said, it was completely dominant. Lemos was tough as hell, ate a lot of shots. I mean, and she broke a record tonight for strike differential. She actually beat Valentina Shevchenko's record. And, I mean, you can't win any more dominantly than that other than a finish. She got out of a pretty scary choke at one point. I mean, she looked good. Especially, I mean, Lemos is so tough. And Lemos hits like a man. You know what I mean? When she throws punches, they have bad intentions. And she caught Weili a few times with some good shots. And she took those, too. Weili Zhang is a beast.
It's a dominating win, right? But for Lemos, it's like she's so tough that her stock almost rises a bit. Okay, she might not beat the champion, but no one's putting her away anytime.
Yeah, I mean, listen, she's tough, but I mean, the scores were insane, and the strike differential, and yeah, she's a nice kid. I like her, but she was completely outclassed tonight.
Last one for me. Possibly the best tough finale since Bonner and Griffin.
Yeah, it was good, really good. I mean, they won the fight of the night. So it's pretty awesome when you have a card stacked with talent like tonight, and the Ultimate Fighter finale wins Fight of the Night. That's pretty impressive.
Obviously, the question that you've heard probably 3,000 times this year is, when do we see the coaches of that season fight? Is there an update on Conor versus Chandler?
No. Yep.
Dana, right here in the front, a few questions for you. I know you don't like to make fights, so I'm not going to ask you about a specific fight, but how you did just say that you don't want Ian to go to Dublin next. I mean,
I do want Ian to go to Dublin, just not next.
Not next.
Madison Square Garden, he's got to go.
Okay, that was the question I was going to ask you. I mean, Irish guy, Madison Square Garden. Is that like a done deal? You get him there?
There's a blueprint for this shit, and we got it. So
you just talked about Sean O'Malley saying how pro the crowd was with him. I don't remember the last time I saw a crowd be that one-sided for a guy who wasn't their hometown since probably Conor versus Dennis Siver right here.
It's true.
We always talk about who could be the next Conor, Ronda Rousey, Brock Lesnar. What about beyond that? Do you see someone on the roster, possibly Sean O'Malley after they could actually surpass that stardom of like a Conor and Ronda and all those?
Well, it's not about surpassing them. It's about who's next and how. And, when Conor McGregor exploded onto the scene, he ignited Europe and other parts of the world. And now, like Sean O'Malley coming into Boston, everywhere I went, yesterday and today, everywhere, and I'm sure you guys experienced this too, hair, shirts, the whole deal. I mean, everybody was wearing O'Malley stuff. And you saw the reaction when he won tonight, how the place just erupted. And when you think about this, I say it every fucking Tuesday. The Contender Series is the best show on television. The Contender Series is incredible. Now we have 2 world champions from the Contender Series and multiple, up and coming stars coming off that show. And if me and my crew, Hunter, the matchmakers, we're sitting at the office. It's fucking 4:57. We jump in the car and we drive over the Apex every Tuesday and literally watch the baddest fights that you could possibly see. And most of the media guys that are here do it too. I love the Contender, and the Contender is really this streamline to the world championship right now. It's awesome.
Getting back in the ring. Are you going to watch their fights? And what do you think?
Who?
KSI and Logan Paul.
Oh, they're fighting again?
They're back, like they're fighting on the same card.
Oh yeah, okay. Listen, I like Logan. I like Logan a lot. Great kid. Who in this room thinks that's a great fight?
He's fighting.
Raise your hands, please, if him and Dylan Dennis is a great fight. I know he's fighting. Nobody? Not one guy?
Well, Weili, congratulations.
Thank you.
On the victory, pretty flawless performance. You set a lot of records. I think even Dana said you broke Valentina's record for significant strikes in a title fight. So physically, how are you feeling? And emotionally, how are you feeling after that defense?
就是你今天打破了那个打击数差别的记录，舍甫琴科保持那记录。那你对于打破这个记录，你现在感觉怎么样？然后自己有什么想法？
我感觉超越了自己，因为我觉得人生最大的敌人就是自己。我每天都是在不断的让自己变得更好。
Yeah, I think I don't really care about the record, but the only thing I'm concerned is just surpass myself. The only challenge or opponent to me is myself. What are we gonna do every day is, am I the Zhang Weili better than who I was yesterday?
She herself, obviously, she absorbed a lot of strikes, and Dana said she showed toughness in there, but she did throw up a lot of submissions, especially in the first and near the end. Were any of those chokes close or tight at all?
拉莫斯打得很强硬，他也挨了很多打，但是他仍然坚持了5回合。那么第一个回合的时候，他有一个对你的降服尝试，你觉得那个降服尝试拿得深吗？对你造成了威胁吗？
那个不太深，我的那个脖子没在里面，只是拿到了头。
Yeah, the submission attempt in the first round is not that deep. So my neck, she didn't really get my neck, so it's not that dangerous to me.
拿到了，然后我也没有着急，我就觉得没问题。
So there is no panic to me. So I just to be calm and try to escape from that situation.
Were you surprised that she was able to absorb so many blows and continue fighting?
你有想到她那么抗揍吗？
哇，没想到，太顽强了！我的天哪，她是真的非常非常顽强，非常值得尊重。
Yeah, she's unbelievable tough. Yeah, I respect her.
好几次我都看到他眼睛都闭上了，但是他真的又挺过来了。
Yeah, there are so many moments during the fight. I felt her. She just almost out, but yeah, she just get through this.
Dana White was in here and we asked him who he thinks you should fight next, and he said we should ask you who you want to fight next. So who would you like to fight next?
他刚问大拿说：“那你下场会打谁呢？”大拿说：“应该问你，你是冠军，你说了算。那你想
打蜜糖吧。
Sean O'Malley. How about this?
Tatiana Suarez was here. She wants the next title shot. Wonder what are your thoughts on her, and do you feel like she deserves the next shot?
苏亚雷斯女小鹰说，她想下一个打冠军作为挑战者。那你觉得她行吗？她配得上挑战你吗？
他挺厉害的，他没有败绩，然后他全胜，我觉得他也是一个非常有竞争的对手。
Yeah, she's good. She's undefeated. She's very good fighter. Yeah, I think she can be a potential challenger for the next.
What does she think about Sean O'Malley's hair?
哦，你刚刚说想打蜜糖，你觉得这蜜糖的头发怎么样？颜色、发型？
头发非常的好看，非常漂亮。
Oh, very beautiful. Yeah, I like it.
It definitely sucks. I mean, I'm not going to lie about that. There was a lot coming into this fight. You know, the quick turnaround, everything. But I was happy to do it. No excuses. Sean, hey, he did a good job of the one thing I knew he would be good at, and is that step back counter. And, yeah, it's just a good shot, man. I felt like I saw something else. I stepped in. He capitalized on the one mistake that I made, and I paid for it. I mean, I felt like the fight could have still kept going, to be honest. I thought I rolled over to try to come back up, and I mean, as soon as he stepped in, I was fine, but it was just one of those things. Can't be mad at the ref. It is what it is, man. Losing sucks. It always does, especially losing to him. But honestly, he's a good fighter, man. A lot of the things I said coming into this fight, I said I respect the skills. I know what he's good at. I know what my strengths are, and he was able to capitalize on that tonight. And I've been here before, man. I mean, a lot worse, though, with Marlon Moraes, and I was able to bounce back and put together a pretty good streak to even get the belt, you know? So it's just one of those things. Life goes on, and it's whatever you decide to make of it, you know? It's just one of those things, and I'm going to remember this night for a very long time, and it's going to fuel me for just bigger and greater things.
Yeah, you mentioned, you know, that he caught you with the one thing, and you were very good at giving him credit before this fight, probably even more than some of the onlookers and pundits and stuff. Was he in there? Was he as good as you were expecting, or in ways was he a little bit better than you were expecting? Was he doing things that you're like, oh, he's better at that range than I thought, or anything like that?
He was better than what I thought in his footwork. And that was one of the things I try to get guys to emulate, because I knew that is a hard thing to do, because I do it myself when I go side to side. But it's different when someone else is doing it to you and you're like, I can't track this motherfucker down. I tracked him down a couple of times, but then he would spin out at the last second when I think I threw a side kick and he was able to pivot out beautifully. He did a couple of things really, really well. I mean, I would have liked to have gotten it down to the ground to really see how good he is down there. But like I said, the one thing I knew, we were doing a good job of throwing that overhand right into the takedown. He threw the front kick. And right after, I was like, okay, I think I got his timing. I threw the left hand. And as I was coming down, he stepped back. He hit a beautiful counter right. And it was a counter right. I think it was a counter right. And it was clean, man. It was clean. And I knew I was okay, but it was one of those things you're rolling around on the ground. The ref doesn't really know how bad you're really hurt. I know the ref hasn't really seen me in that position before, so it's kind of hard to kind of give the benefit of the doubt. Definitely think it could have gone a little bit more. But, yeah, credit where credit is due, man. Sean did a great job. He stayed disciplined, man. I didn't want the fight to be boring. I could have sat on the outside and just kept playing the leg kick game. But then I would have had all the criticisms of everybody else. And I was like, see, this is the difference. He stayed disciplined to his game plan. And I kind of let, I don't want to say emotions, but I kind of let trying to be a little bit more of an exciting style for the fans play a factor. You know, we've seen the Yoel Romero fight. We've seen bad fights before where it's kind of like not much happens because no one wants to make that grave mistake. I made the mistake. Sean capitalized. I paid for it.
You mentioned there that you felt the fight could have kept going because the referee didn't know how hurt you were or weren't hurt. How hurt were you after the right hand?
I thought it was fine. I mean, as soon as it like rolled over, it came over to me. I was like, dude, I'm good. I mean, they asked me a question. I forgot what state we were fighting in. I will say that. That wasn't like, oh, he hit me so hard. I forgot. I was like, I legitimately just forgot where we were. And
Where did you think we were?
I was like, we're not in Vegas. Like I like it was like coming to Boston, but not really one of those places that we really fight at often. So I was like, I know we're not in Vegas, but I didn't want to give him an answer. And then he's gonna be like, oh no, you were fucked up, bro. You were really fucked. And then he asked me what year is it? I was like 2023, bro. I was like, I'm telling you, I'm fine. I just really don't remember that we came to Massachusetts because it's not a state that you say all the time. But whatever. Yeah. Definitely proud of everything, man. Glass half full. Like I get choked up when I talk about this. Like I don't come from the best household, you know, so just being able to find inspiration in other people and kind of carving out your own path. That's the one thing I love about the sport. It's allowed me to do things my way, and man, life is good. I got my family. I got my beautiful fiance. You know, I don't want to cry on the fucking camera, man. It's the things that matter the most in life. You know, the competition is okay, but this has really helped change my life. Like, I know the UFC gets a lot of shit from like the fighters and stuff, but if it wasn't for them, man, I wouldn't have the life that I live today. And I told Dana that even at the weigh-ins yesterday, and Hunter, like, if it wasn't for them, like half the things I've done in this sport wouldn't be possible. And the things I've been able to do for my family, bought my mom a house, doing a little real estate. I own 3 houses now. I'm set in terms of financial means. You know, this is just icing on the cake. And I took a shot. You know, I took a shot trying to come back and trying to do something unthinkable, and making a dream into a reality. And I fell short, but it happens, you know. So I'm super proud of everything I've done. No one can, like, I'm bulletproof, man. Like, no one can shake me mentally, no one but myself. So that's one of the things I would never get down on myself about. I've truly earned everything I've gotten, and that's the most important. And I just wish people would take other people's journeys and, like, yeah, I played the heel and everything. Like, it's all a game to me. Like, it's like I like having fun. It's a good time. You know, I'm from Long Island. We break balls. We like to just have a good laugh. But at the end of the day, chase your dreams, man, because life is short. I'm 34 now. I started this game when I was 20 years old. I thought I was going to be the next youngest champion. Next to John Jones, came up short. And what a ride it's been. And knowing that door is going to close one day, it scares me a little bit, you know? So I just try to make the most of every single opportunity I can.
Jermaine, over here. Over here. So can you see the positive?
Cut the onions.
You're okay, man. We all love you.
That it kind of did feel like your story needed to see you win this title on Saturday, but you still had to go in there and beat Aljamain Sterling. You did that. I'm curious now that you have the belt in front of you, if it feels like it was meant to be or if it feels a little bit surreal.
Yeah, it definitely feels surreal. Feels like I'm I'm playing a video game and I just got cheat codes and I'm like, all right, I'm going to knock out Aljo on the second Saturday. And it's just like, it's crazy.
You thought it would be the second?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people kept telling me that I have a weird feeling to be in the second. I had that feeling. I don't know if I ever said that out loud, but I was like, I feel like it could be I feel like that fight could have kind of played out how I expected it to. My main goal was to not let him take me down, and I knew if I could keep it on the feet, I would knock him out.
He was in here earlier praising your movement, your side-to-side movement, your ability to spin away from the kick when he would go for it against the cage. Did you kind of feel that if he got through the first round without being able to get you in the clinch or down, the second round he'd come out more aggressive and a bit more frustrated?
Yeah, I thought the longer the fight stayed on the feet, the better chance I had of knocking him out. I knew it would get him frustrated, him not being able to grab me. I thought he was way too confident that he was going to be able to come in and just grab me. I don't know if he's ever sparred someone as good as I am or fought someone as good as I am. I truly believe I am, a level above most people in the striking department. And I just felt like he was very confident because he had never experienced. It wasn't his fault. He has never experienced someone that fast in front of him.
When you landed the right hand that put him down, did you think, and that's a wrap, or did you think, okay, hold on, stay composed, get this finished properly?
It's so weird. I just kind of allow myself to be taken over by my higher self, and it's hard to remember certain moments in there because I feel like I'm just flowing. I do remember seeing his eyes roll back like 3 or 4 times, and I was surprised the ref didn't step in. Not that he should have, but I thought he could have. But I was just so tough, man.
You said quite honestly that you'd never had nerves like it, right? Do you think that was just because, oh shit, the title shot is finally here, or was it Aljamain's style? What was it about it that made tonight a nerve-wracking experience?
Dude, I haven't grappled in 6 weeks. I had a muscle strain, and I literally couldn't grapple in 6 weeks. Couldn't MMA spar. I was the main event in Boston. There was no shot I was pulling out, but we haven't grappled in 6 weeks. 6 weeks from the date from today, I hurt my I had a muscle strain right under my rib, and I couldn't grapple. And so coming into this fight, fighting Aljo, every time I did interviews and I was saying it's life or death, I cannot get taken down. It was because I didn't know if this would hold up, and it's fucking sore right now. And I don't know if it was from a kick or just from the little bit of scramble or the little bit of grappling we did, but it's definitely like it's not super painful, but I definitely feel it. So dealing with those mental demons coming into this fight, knowing I was injured ish, like I literally, we didn't grapple one day in the last 6 weeks, didn't grapple at all fight week. And I kept saying in every interview, it's life or death if he takes me down. And I was kind of referring to that, but I wasn't, going to come out and say I'm injured.
So to know that you went in the cage with the nerves and came out with that belt, you must have a sort of sense of, I can pretty much do anything if I really put my mind to it.
Yeah, a crazy sense of relief that it's just like, holy shit, I got through that. I didn't get taken down. And it's like, I knew the odds. I knew I was capable of it 100%. I've had really good, sparring days before that where I was really good at not getting taken down. So I knew I was capable of it. But I'm like, the odds of me not getting taken down once in 25 minutes aren't very high, especially against such a good grappler. So the fact that it just played out like that is just mind-blowing.
You pretty much called your shot next, right? You want a rematch with Chito Vera later this year?
Yeah, I thought, let's shoot a promo, but we'll see. He just the way he acts, he's so annoying. Just like he's not funny, and he tries to be. He's so ugly, dresses like an idiot. It's like, God, do I really have to give this guy an opportunity? But I'm like, well, I'll probably just go out there and whoop his ass, make a lot of money, so I could. So yeah, that could be it. I also wouldn't mind knocking out Gervonta Davis, and I know people are gonna go, "Oh, you want to be Conor?" I'm telling you, that fight is gonna happen.
Stick to MMA. Should you beat Chito, would you need to do a trilogy, or would you consider that 2-0?
No, it would be 1-0. I feel like we've never even fought. I'm not. When I count my record of 18-0 now, that's not even, that Chito fight is not even on there. That's not even it's nothing. The Sugar State Athletic Commission completely cleared that of everything, and that fight never even happened.
Aljamain Sterling said he wanted to do an immediate rematch. That's his main priority.
Thought he's going up to 45. These weight cuts are too hard.
No, he says he'd like to fight.
Next question.
And as far as Chito, obviously you guys have history, but how big do you think that fight can be? Because it seems that it can set itself up for a big pay-per-view.
Yeah, this was already what I'm being told is the biggest bantamweight fight in history. This already happened. It was the biggest fight before the fight even happened. I was hearing this, days before the fight. This was projected to be the biggest bantamweight fight of all time. You guys think it was because Aljo was on there? Aljo versus Henry happened a couple months ago. No one said nothing about that. So me versus Chito rematch would be fucking massive.
Yeah. How much do you think that belt's gonna help you boost your profile and stardom? What do you think the ceiling is here?
Oh God, I think billionaire status someday. Now I feel like I want to be out there gambling with Dana. This dude's throwing around a couple $250,000 just for shits and giggles.
And back to your comments on Gervonta Davis. Boxing, we're talking about your...
Oh, of course.
You wanna cross over and box him.
I would love to. He's fucking this tall, dude. I would love to go out there and box him.
You've seen him in person, right? You guys have had interactions.
I've never seen him in person.
Oh, okay.
No.
Yeah. How far do you see that happening? In the near future?
I feel like it could happen sooner than later. But I also know, like, okay, you know, UFC is down to get behind stuff like that if it's big enough. I mean, with that performance, we're getting close. But maybe I have to go out there, win a couple more fights, win another belt. I don't know if he's even considered a big enough star for the UFC to let that happen. But it'll happen. And people always, I mean, I said this was going to happen years ago, and I got so much shit saying I was going to be the champ. I'm going to be the next big star. I'm going to be this. I'm going to be that. I got so much hate and shit for it. But look at me now.